Okay, do I hit that?
Is there a number on the top? County?
Yes, it is.
So it's
Okay. All right.
Who here has a business of their own, or one day may say, I think I want to run my own business? Who's ever thought of running their own business? Have you ever thought of running your own business, or you possibly want to own business for yourself? I'm going to give you some tips you can use for the planning part before the advertising. I own a company that works with businesses that advertise online. And this is the biggest step, or the biggest area I see a lot of people skip, and it costs them a lot of money. This is the planning part, or the targeting part. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've developed a 3-step system for successfully advertising online. It's TAG, T-A-G. What it stands for is target, advertise, gather. Very simple. You target who you're going after, or the planning phase. And after you really target who you're going after, you know everything about them, then you advertise them. After you advertise them, you gather the results. And you see what worked, what didn't, and then you repeat the process. So I'm going to talk about the planning part today. This is finding out all about your customers before you spend any money advertising. So when you get into business, what you want to do is, I want to just put money here, put money here, put money here for advertising, and hopefully it'll come back and I'll make more. That's what we want to have happen. Our minds, we envision it that way. You put $1,000 online, you're going to get $5,000 back. You put $1,000 on radio, you're going to get $10,000 back. Well, have you ever thought, why would that happen, or why would that not happen? There's reasons why we buy. There's reasons why we decide to reach into our pocket, pull out our credit card, pull out our cash, and give it to someone. We don't want to do that. Who here finds themselves just giving money away? No one does that? No one just gives money away? Because we work hard for it. We want to keep our money. So we have to take that into consideration, as people don't want to give their money away. So just by advertising doesn't mean you get anything back. When you advertise on Google, Google actually has a guarantee. Every time someone clicks on one of your ads on Google, they're going to charge you money. That's it. When you advertise on Google and you pay for it, all you're going to get is a bill from Google. That's the only guarantee you're going to have. Now for the planning part, when you advertise, what do? How do you properly plan? How do you properly target who you're going after, so you know when you do advertise, you're going to be in a good position to make money? There's a few things that you want to look at. There's 3 things you really need to focus on to look at. First one is really identify who you're going after. Then identify how you can help them. And then the most important is why you. Why you? So really identify who you're going after, how you can help them, and why you. So first let's look at identify who you're going after. Really identify who you're going after. Be specific as possible. You really want to know exactly who you're going after. For example, Arthur is going after people who are looking to invest their money. He's not looking for someone who's in college, who's just getting started off. He's looking for older people who have a lot of money to invest. That's specific. He knows the exact amount he wants to start with. He knows exactly who he's going after. So for him to try to advertise to everyone, it's not going to be appealing. That's one of the misconceptions when you advertise. You think, but what if I'm missing a potential client? What if Arthur wants someone who's got a lot of money who's older? Well, a message to them may make sense, may connect with them. But someone who's younger, who's willing to take more risks, who doesn't have a lot of money, it's not going to connect with them. So part of the proper planning is knowing who you're going after, so you can say, it's okay if I don't connect with everyone. It's okay if what I'm selling or what I have doesn't reach out to everyone. I know Gina has a service where she helps mothers and daughters connect. Well, what if it's for brothers and sisters? That's not what she does. She does mothers and daughters. So we're going to say, well, what if there's a brother and sister out there that might possibly pay me? Well, to make a message that would reach out to them and mothers and daughters. You might be pulling away from mothers and daughters, which is the main goal of what you want. So that's really identifying who you want and being specific to them. Now, if you identify who you want and you're specific, it's important to find out what they want, what they need, because people are going to pay you to help them with a problem they have. They're going to pay you for what they want, what they need. When's the last time you paid someone money for something you didn't want or you didn't need. Without the exception of being a kid, saying, I want money for this or that. I don't think we've done that before. We pay our money. We work so hard for our money. We want to pay money for something we want, for something we need. That's why we pay. If we don't think something's going to help us, we're not going to pay for it. So keep that in mind. It's really important to know about the person you're going after so you can say, how can I help them? How can I help them? Find out what they want. Find out what they need. Again, a specific example, in Arthur's case, he's looking for people who are older who have a lot of money to invest. Well, what do they want? What do they need? Are they looking more for the security their money won't be gone in 6 months? Are they looking more for the reliability, the trust? That's the research of knowing specifically what your customers want. Gina wants to help mothers and daughters. Well, what do they want? What are their biggest frustrations for mothers and daughters to connect? Is it the mothers or the daughters think the mothers will judge them or they'll get in trouble? So what's the biggest issue there? So you know that, because then if you know what it is, that's how you can target them. And you say, this is how I can help you because this is specifically what you want. And I think we've all been in a position before we tried to sell something to someone, maybe the job we had, could have been the first job, but you tried to sell something and the person said, no, I don't want it. So why would they say they don't want it? Because it didn't help them. It didn't appeal to them. It didn't appeal to them in that moment. Now this is the most important one. The most important thing is, why you? Why you? Unless you have some magical service that you can do that no one else out there can do, you're going to have competition. I mean, there's going to be other people doing the same thing you can do. I think all of us here have a service we do, and we all have people who can do the same thing. So what we have to do is separate ourselves. Why you? And this doesn't have to be just for a business. You can do this if you're applying for a job somewhere. As you're applying for a job, you want to switch careers or you want to just upgrade your job. Well, unless you're the only one that can do it, there's going to be other people competing for it. So you have to identify, why me? What makes me different? What makes me stand out? And that's something to really think about. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own reasons as far as like, why you? What makes your business different, better? It can be anything. It can be price. It can be service. It can be selection. It can be quality. I mean, there's many things it can be, but you want it to be something strong and compelling. If the reason why you is because, well, I can take your money, that's not a good reason. You want a strong, compelling reason to get people to come to you. Think of it this way. With your business, pretend you have your business that's in a mall, and there's 30 other shops in the mall that do the exact same thing. And people are going to walk in to that store, which is yours, and then walk into other stores. Why are they going to come back to your store? What's going to separate you from everyone else out there? And if you say, well, I don't know why me, or I don't really know who I'm going after, I don't really know how I can help them. If you can't answer those questions, and you're going to start advertising, you know what's going to happen? You're going to spend money in advertising. You don't know who you're going after. You don't really know how you can help them, so you can address it, and you don't give people reason to buy from you. Now, if you're going up against a competitor who's done the research, they know specifically who they want, how they can help someone, give them a reason to buy from them, guess what? Your customers should have been customers, are going to buy from someone else, and they're not going to buy from you because you didn't give them a reason to buy from you. I mean, think back for some of the purchases we've made. Well, we bought this camera, your car, even your house, or a shirt, something you bought for a kid. Like, why would you buy something for them? Because you wanted to help them. You wanted to help them. You wanted to give them something. Even with yourself with a car, you buy a car because it's going to help you get to work. Now, the person selling that has to understand your reasons why. Why you don't want to buy a car. Is it you want a sports car so you can drive around and go really fast? Or you want something big that you can fit a family in? But identifying why you. This is something that a lot of times you skip over it, but it takes a lot of time. And it can be one of those things where you always start it, but you never really get to that reason. It's like, well, I'm going to come up with why me, but you don't really know. Sometimes you have to be creative. You have to be creative with the ideas like what makes me stand out. In an industry where, say, for example, like in Arthur's industry, you can't really boast about numbers. You can't say, well, I get a 10% return, because you'll be held accountable for that, and they don't allow you to do that. So finding other reasons why someone could choose you over everyone else. You could talk about your retention rate, how long you stayed with, or how long people stay with you because of the job you do. That says a lot. there's other people who talk good about you, you could use that as an example, another reason to choose you. Same with Gina, you could say, well, why me? Why am I better? Well, first you have to know what else is out there. Knowing what else is out there, you can tell people, well, these are some examples of how I've helped a mother and a daughter. Here's some testimonials. And this is if you can say after 6 weeks of my course, you should be able to comfortably talk to your daughter about anything you want. You can make a claim like that. So after 6 weeks, how would that sound for mothers and daughters to comfortably talk about anything you want? Let's recap the 3 things. Before you advertise, if this is advertising over here, make sure you stay over here and you put up a big barrier in between you, a big barrier, and you don't cross it until you can answer the 3 questions. Which is, who specifically are you going after? Who specifically? How can you help them? And the last one, what was the last one? Shout it out.
Why you?
Why you? There we go. Why you? Those are very important. Because I guarantee you, if you do not know the answer to those, you will waste a lot of money advertising. I have people that come to me and they'll spend $50,000 a month. And guess what? I start right here with them and start asking questions. And I don't know, but they're over here advertising. And they're spending a lot of money. But I can come in, that's good for me because I can save them a lot of money. So after the first month, they can see some dramatic results by doing that step. But it works. It works. I guarantee you it works. I've saved a lot of money for a lot of people and made a lot of money for a lot of people by doing it. Those are the 3 steps. If you do those before you start advertising, you'll know you're going to do pretty well when you start, or you'll know maybe you don't want to start. So that's how you plan before you advertise.
Thank you, Chris. Great speech, very useful information as well. Now we're going into the impromptu section.